I did not like this one. Terror on the Prairie is a Daily Wire exclusive movie starring Gina Carano. For those who don't know, Gina Carano is an actress and former MMA fighter who had a role in the Mandalorian Disney Plus series, but she was fired after Disney took issue with some of her tweets. In an attempt to uncancel her, the Daily Wire offered her the opportunity to star in her own movies. I think this is one of 2 movies that she is contracted to do. I think the Daily Wire's leap into cinematic entertainment has been pretty shaky. I did not like Shut-In, I did not like the Hyperions, but I thought Run, Hide, Fight was entertaining. Terror on the Prairie was just boring for me. For the plot, Gina Carano and her family live on the frontier in the, I'm going to guess, the 1870s? And while her husband is visiting town for supplies, a group of men on horseback stop by her home and ask for supplies. Gina catches on that these men intend to do her harm, and now Gina Carano must defend her family. This is my house! I have to defend it! Terror on the Prairie does a lot of things I don't like. First of all, it's mostly a stakeout movie where both sides are at a standstill and we just get a lot of sitting around waiting for something to happen. And when it does happen, it's not worth the wait. Second, it has no musical score. Nothing, except for the post-credits song. Typically in dramas or horror films, to show that everything is kind of normal, they don't play a lot of music at the beginning of the film. Our main character goes about his or her regular tasks, and the lack of music hints to us that it's just another boring day. Then something slightly unusual happens and we get a little music playing once in a while. Then as more unusual stuff starts happening and our characters realize this isn't going to be just another boring day, the musical score starts to kick in more regularly and get more intense. This helps build suspense and we share the character's excitement or dread. I don't think Terror on the Prairie has a single musical note, and this makes it hard to feel suspense. Third, since the movie isn't exciting, they need to trick the audience into thinking it's suspenseful by showing scenes of very graphic violence. I see this in a lot of espionage movies or TV shows, where the movie or TV show is starting to get boring, but then someone suddenly gets shot or stabbed, and we get this drawn-out scene of someone having to be operated on with like a butter knife and toenail clippers or something like that. And then, someone says, "This is going to hurt." Then they yank the bullet out or pour alcohol on the wound and the patient screams, "Ah!" And we, the audience, are supposed to cringe and say, "Oh, gross." I really don't like that stuff. It's cheap. It's the action movie equivalent of jump scares in horror films. None of the action is well choreographed or well filmed in Terror on the Prairie, so instead they show us people getting scalped, people getting their throats slashed, people getting sewn up while blood is squirting all over the place. It's not pleasant. Fourth, it does that thing I don't like where we are watching a really noisy scene and then in the middle of the noise it suddenly cuts to the next scene and it's completely quiet. Someone will get stabbed or shot and they're screaming, "Ah!" And then, whew, silent wide shot of the cabin in the prairie. I guess the juxtaposition of loud noises and sudden silence is supposed to unnerve the audience. This can be an effective technique when used sparingly, but this little trick is pervasive in the film and it loses its effect when you do it over and over again. There's more to say, but I'm going to leave it there. I think Daily Wire needs to step up its game. If you disagree, let me know why in the comments. Today's movie quote is, "You have your hands full when you scratch your neck!"